Hello! Welcome to All Essays. Reach your academic heights. My name is Julie and I will be your instructor as we read through Tasmaniacs. The article source is embedded in the video description below. Feel free to read along. Please note that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay for as little as $10 a page at All Essays. The link is in the description. As a rule, authors create original texts, which are unique. Nevertheless, in spite of the uniqueness of texts, it is still possible to find some similarities between texts, which seem to be quite different at first glance. In this respect, it is possible to refer to two texts, text A and text B, which apparently belong to two different styles, but still an attentive reader can easily trace a common line which unites both texts. In fact, this similarity is not only the common theme of the text, but also the attention and profound knowledge of the subject authors of both texts write about. In fact, the difference between the two texts discussed is, to a significant extent, determined by the different target audience of either author. It proves beyond a doubt that the author of the text A attempts to draw the attention of an average tourist or just an individual who has never traveled in his life. The main goal of the author is to capture the attention of the reader and make him or her eager to travel to Australia and visit. Almost fabulous, the author vividly describes. In this respect, it should be said that the author skillfully uses epithets to characterize Australia, its geography, nature, and beauty. In such a way, due to the use of epithets, the author draws a vivid picture. He almost visualizes the picture he describes in the text A. At the same time, the author intentionally uses rather colloquial than formal language in order to make his message closer and more comprehensible to an ordinary reader. For instance, the author writes about a devil jet boating on the seductive waters. In such a way, he attempts to evoke positive feelings and emotions of the audience. Furthermore, the tone of the text A is friendly and intentionally positive. The author creates a simple but quite vivid text. He achieves such an effect through the use of the short, quite simple sentences. The text A is not overwhelmed with a complex syntax or semantically elevated lexical contents. Instead, the simplicity and comprehensibility are major tools to influence the audience and convince people to visit Australia, which is apparently the ultimate goal of the author of the text A. At the same time, the text is well structured and logical. At this point, the text A is similar to the text B, where the message is also well organized and the author logically conveys his ideas. However, it is important to underline that this text is very different from the text A, and, what is more, the text B is more complex syntactically as well as lexically compared to the text A. On the other hand, stylistically, the text is not overwhelmed with various stylistic devices and artistic details. In stark contrast, the entire text looks rather like a formal, almost scientific report of a traveler about his trip to Australia. In such a way, this text differs from quite informal, colloquial language of the text A, where the author, in contrast to the author of the text B, attempted to use simple words which can be attractive for readers' perception. Another difference of the text B from the text A may be traced in the tone of the text. Unlike the text A, which is characterized by a light, friendly tone, the text B has quite a dark tone, since the author conveys his problems he has faced while traveling throughout Australia. In this respect, it is worth mentioning the opening sentence which, to a significant extent, defines the tone of the entire text and the general impression after reading the text B. It is impossible to fancy a worse country than the one we were now traveling over, intersected with swamps and small lagoons in every direction. In such a way, in contrast to bright and vivid picture created by the author of the text A, the author of the text B creates a picture which is gloomy, unpleasant and disgusting, in a way. In contrast to the author of the text A, his goal is not the promotion of the place he visited, but he rather warns readers about difficulties they may face once they decide to undertake a journey to Australia. At the same time, the audience of the text B is narrower compared to the audience of the text A, because the author uses quite formal language, rather, complex lexical and syntactical structure. In such a way, he strengthens the impression concerning hardships he had to pass through while traveling throughout Australia. Nevertheless, in spite of obvious differences, both texts are united by the common theme. Both attempt to describe the nature of Australia and both authors admire the local nature. Even though the author of the text B suffered a lot, he still could not help from admiring the local nature. If, however, the country itself is poor, the river is rich, the same trend can be traced in the text A, which is the admiration with Australian nature itself. Thank you for taking your time to listen to me. I hope you enjoyed learning about Tasmaniacs as much as I did. Kindly remember that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay at LSAs for as little as $10. The link is in the description. See you next time.